tuna sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Tune here back again. This week we've got an interesting one. I got some review codes for the Toaplan Arcade Shoot 'em Up Collection Volume 1. Like I said, like I said, I was given the review codes. The only stipulation I had was basically I can't stream or show the game until the 14th of this month, which is on Tuesday, I believe, when the game gets released. But anything else goes, so I can say exactly what I want about it. And if I couldn't, I wouldn't have reviewed them basically, because I'm just going to say it as it is. So just get that out of the way. So this is a lovely collection of 4 classic Toaplan arcade games, with this being pretty much my favourite game they've ever done. So you get Outzone, Zero Wing, Truxton or Truxton, and Twin Cobra or Kurokuko Tiger. So 4 very good games. And they come in various modes and everything as well, and they're released on a PC by Bitwave, and they come from the Truxton company, which as far as I'm aware is one of the original members of Toaplan, or maybe more of them that created the company, and they've released some of their products, and they are coming out, like there's an EverDrive collection that's coming out on Exa Arcade as well, some of the games, and obviously there's a PC version, so hopefully they'll do console versions. So these games have a lot of extras. What they've done is, as well, I will get this going so I can write this out. Right, so pretty much what they've done, input lag on this is very good. It's just as good as MAME on the input lag reduction. In some ways, it might be a bit better. Pretty much what they've done is they've pretty much done the emulation, the input processing, and the rendering, and they've got it all done on the same frame, which is cut the input lag down. And to be honest, these games feel really nice. I can't test the input lag, unfortunately, because I don't have any way of doing it. But they feel tight and perfectly fine to me. There's quick saves and quick loads. You have online leaderboards for things like using assists, non-assists, easy mode, and that type of thing. There's instrument panels, as you see on the sides, not quite up to the levels of M2, but still pretty cool to have them. You've got a rewind function, you've got a slow motion function, you've got a fast forward function, which are all set to buttons, plus you can restart the game at any time you want. The assists are things like auto fire and various stuff like that. You've got different screen modes. You can rotate it and have tape mode on the PC. I've seen some people asking about that. You've got Steam achievements, and there's different input sort of controller modes as well. So we'll go through all that now. So once you get it set up, in the video modes, you've got full screen, you've got windowed mode, and you've got a borderless window mode, I believe. So we're just going to go with the full screen. The scale, you've got standard pixel scale, which is square pixels, or you've got a fill scale, which basically stretches the aspect ratio out to fill the screen. You can rotate, you can basically play upside down if you want. So you can have Tate mode on PC. Scan lines, we'll go into this. So basically you can adjust all your scan lines, height, brightness, shadows, and that type of stuff, which is very nice indeed. Can I turn the... I wonder if I can turn the barrel mode off. Ah, yes, you can. So you can minimize all this if you want and turn this off. So you can pretty much customize the screen to whatever you want. You can do the brightness, scan lines, shadows. So you can basically customize anything you want. There you can have full screen, bordered, windowed, or whatever stuff like that going on. So also did I miss the scan line option? Yeah, sorry. What you can do here is each one of these options you can adjust the saturation and everything, which is very nice, because then you can customize this to your needs, which is very good indeed. I'll leave the scan line option on as standard, but you can mess around with it. So basically what we get is, as you first see when I booted it up, I forgot, that's your scan line option, which gives you like a CRT blur. It's got you've got like a CRT sort of glow filter over the top of it, scan lines, and if the screen's slightly bent, I wouldn't normally go for this, but I don't think it looks that bad actually, to be honest. I think this actually it gives you a good idea of, it almost reminds me of a British arcade monitor in like a stand-up Electrocoin cab or something. It's very similar, but as you can see, you can go into this, click into this, and you can pretty much go to any of these, and I could minimize them all. So I can do this. Leave the scan lines, take the shadow off. See, so you could basically play around with this as much as you want, and mess around with the settings. But I'll just turn it back to normal for now. So you can do that. You've got a smooth mode, which pretty much just gives you like bilinear filtering, which smooths everything out. I'm not a big fan of that type of filter, but it's there if you like it. You can also do a steps mode, which is like a pixel perfect filter, but in the steps mode you get interpolation on top of it, so it cuts down any sort of pixel shimmer you get because of uneven pixel size. And it only softens the screen a little bit, which is rather nice. So it's good for playing a full screen. So if I go back in, and then you've got the pixels mode, which is pretty much no filtering, sharp pixels, which is also very nice. So that's that. So we'll just put it in the, I think I'll put it in the interpolated mode. So we'll put it in the steps mode for now, so then you can see it. You've also got assists then. So you've got custom mode, very easy mode, arcade mode. In custom, you can change your auto fire, and you can change whatever auto fire rate you want. Perfect, basically. Fantastic option that is. You can have it to auto dodge, which is a bit odd, but you can auto dodge if you want to. You can change your health as well, so you can up the health value on the game. Interesting one. You can show normal. You can show hitbox. So you can basically make a hitbox smaller than it normally is. So that's a normal hitbox, and there's an option to show hitbox. So if I cancel out, so there's the hitbox on all the characters. And then if I go back into assists and change the hitbox, should get a slightly smaller hitbox and stuff. Didn't seem to do much in, but it's there, that option. So what else you can do? You've got I can turn the hitboxes off. You've got a rewind function, so basically you can sort of get into menus, save states, that type of stuff. And you can change the language, Japanese and English. So the input then is interesting. You've got the standard Steam input, which will be basically Xbox 360 pad or Xbox One pad setup. Can't change any of it. It's just set as it is. You can say what controller you want on it. You can play by keyboard and this keyboard setup, or you can change the raw input. And you've got keyboard and controller named. In raw inputs, you can go into here, press a button, and then you can configure any input you want, basically. So I've just changed the fire buttons, essentially, but you can change all your UI stuff, and so it's fully customizable, which is perfect. That's exactly what you would want, fully customizable. In the game options, you got locations, so you can change the location of the game. I'm not sure if it changes this in this, though. It doesn't seem to be the ROM that I would normally play, because I normally play on Mister, and I must play the original Japanese one possibly, because this one gives you slightly different enemies in places, and you basically your energy, because this is like time-based energy, is far tighter on this version than the version I play. But I would say this version's probably a little bit easier. So I don't know. We would just go with Japanese anyway for the hell of it. Change your lives, these are all your standard dip switches essentially on the arcade board. Borders. So basically you can turn the frame off. So we'll turn the frame off. Overlays. So you can literally have nothing and then have different backgrounds. Some of them have got more backgrounds, but different backgrounds. So you can turn the overlays on. So turn overlay on. So you can get ones, you get the music, you can get the different sound channels, or you can get the overlay showing your score, how many shots you're taking, gains, credits, hits, that type of things. Or you can have the artworks that would be on the original cab, showing you like the move list and things like that. So we'll just go with stats. Save options, quick saves, quick loads, save your game, load your game. You can record your game as well. This is a little bit confusing at first to record a game. What you do is you record your game and it cancels out. And I was like, what's going on? This is actually recording the game. And then when you go back into the menu, you go back to save, and then you've got save record essentially. So you click save record. You can name it whatever you want on the PC, and you can save. And then what you do then is you go into save and go to replay. Pick your saved replay you've just done, which I think was that one. Click the button, and then it goes back and replays it. So I was a little bit confused by that at first, but it's there and you can go back and you can do it. I don't know where my top scores disappeared, mine, but so you can do that. Oh, it's probably because I'm on a slightly different version, is it? Let's have a look. So if I go to back to right, Europe version. Yeah, there's score. So that is the European version, and that's the score I've got on it. So we'll chuck it back on the Japanese version, because I think I prefer the Japanese version, to be honest. So we'll go back on that. So that pretty much changes your ROM into the different regions. So we'll go back. So that's a replay. Audio, you can play like music from the game, if it'll play. Got to find which one it's on, and you can pretty much play sounds and all that type of stuff. And then you've got normal, hard version of the games. Probably should have been in that menu, to be honest. But you've got normal, hard, that type of thing. And you've got practice mode then. So if you go to practice mode, you can pick your mission, checkpoints. It's really nice practice mode. You upgrade your bombs, shield on, shield off, cycles, and you can go. So it's got really nice practice modes, and all games are the same. They've all got the same features. And I've pretty much crashed it. That's an interesting one. Ah, it's back. Okay, I have noticed a few little issues. They're next to nothing, essentially. On one of the levels on this, there's a few tiles missing. You get square blocks on the tiles, which is a bit odd, but it's only on one section. The other thing, the sound on this. The sound, nothing wrong with it. Sounds fine, but it probably sounds more like the original arcade board without any filters. It's like if you play on MAME, you've got sound filters all over and you get good bass and things like that. But if you play it on the Mister without any sound filters, you just get the raw digital audio. And this sounds very much like the way the Mister does it. So sound as I was like, oh, this sounds a little bit weird at first. But all the music's there. It's just used to playing it on MAME, if you know what I mean, with all the filters. Like MAME tries to emulate the cabinet with big speakers and an amp in there, and turn the treble and your bass up and your mids and all that, you know what I mean? But this sounds like you're more just getting raw as it is on the arcade board. So as for features, that's pretty much it on the features. So let's get into actually playing the game. So I'll show you the game playing. I say this is my favourite Toaplan game. I love this game. I've always considered it a shoot 'em up, but essentially it is a top-down run and gun. You've got your little guy you can run again. You've got two types of weapons. You basically got this weapon you can fire in any direction, which, by the way, is super powerful, but obviously it's a little bit awkward because you've got a point where you've got to fire. And then you've got this C weapon, which gives you a spread, which is pretty much the best weapon in the game. As you see, I've got the auto-fire going. You can play without auto-fire, but obviously it makes the game a little bit harder. I can see the scrolling is lovely and smooth with the interpolated mode. There's no shimmering or anything. Very nice indeed. You got the borders on the side, so it shows you how many shots you're doing, how many enemies you've killed, how many bombs you've used, how many hits you've taken. Quite nice to have all that feature. So they say this is a classic run and gun. So basically you're timed as well, so only problem I've just I think what's happened is when I've changed ROM it's screwed up a little bit, so this is a little bit of a glitch. So I'm gonna go back and see if I can change it back. Right, that's it, it's reset itself. So if I go back into reason, the score wasn't showing at the top. Do that one, see if that's back again now. Right, yeah, there may be, like I say, I'm not entirely sure whether these are the release games that are going to be released on the 14th or whether there's going to be a few updates. I know they've updated one already and added extra stuff to the leaderboards, so this may not be the final release. I don't know. The other thing I don't know is the price of these games. So hopefully, as it's better. My score's back now. Just needed a reset. So with this game, because it's a run and gun or shoot 'em up, whatever you want to call it, you've got an energy bar on this one. With the European version, the energy bar goes down fast, but the game is easier. And I haven't turned the auto-fires on for this version yet, as you can see. And as you can see at the bottom, you get hit select. It shows you all your details. I might play with this for a little while, with the autofire's on. It does make the game hard when you play, I guess, but there is situations in this game where using this mode you need. So there's lots of ways you've got to go across platforms, and you've got to things come from behind you, so you do need to swap weapons sometimes. I tend to use the smart bomb and do it that way instead, without swapping weapons. Sneaky bullet then. So it's pretty nice that they've added all these creature comforts essentially to this game. Get the autofire going, and at the end of the day, guys, autofire is not cheating. It's not cheating. Japanese arcades use autofire, so you know, why ruin your hands and your wrists when you don't have to? And autofire was only essentially wasn't put in these games in the arcade because they wanted to spend money on them. You do get a smart bomb as well. If you've got autofire on, you can go close to that guy and kill him really fast. Get this guy. That's it. Happy days. I say there are subtle differences between the different ROMs as well. That the Japanese version has got slightly different enemies in certain places, and they changed a little few things for the Western versions as well. So I generally play the arcade version. Always use a bomb here. This makes your life easier. But as you can see, this is a really good game. It's got some really good music as well. I gotta admit, all the Toaplan games have got good music. They've all got very good soundtracks. And crazy thing that a lot of them got converted to console back in the day, and the soundtracks were actually better on the console versions. It sounded better with the sound chips on the console ones, but so I won't play this for too long because obviously there's 4 games I gotta show. See, even if this is a different version, this doesn't normally happen on the version I play. I don't think this game is changing the version properly. But anyway, so that's Outzone. Say this is my favourite Toaplan game. I am top of the leaderboards on this. I'll show the leaderboards now. There's ranking versions. You go to rank, and then you can see the leaderboards. So you can basically flick through the leaderboards for each one. So one credit clears. I managed to get top of the leaderboards for all 4 games at the moment. So it's quite nice you got all that stuff. I'm pretty sure there was talk in some of the original reveals for this of having 2-player online play, because you can play doubles on this. I can't because I'm playing on arcade cab with only 1-player controls, but you can play 2-player on this. There was talk about 2-player online play as well, but I can't see any options in here to do it. And there was also talk about remix soundtracks as well, from what possibility of it. But there don't seem to be in these versions. Whether those features are going to be added when it gets released, I don't know. So that is Outzone, guys. It's a classic game. So that's the first game in this collection. So we'll move on to Zero Wing next. So we'll swap games now. Right, guys, here we go. Back to Zero Wing. This is a horizontal scrolling game by these. So we'll go to the options. You've got very similar options basically than the last one. You've got your video modes, different pixel modes. I'll change it to steps. You can see the difference of the screen changing. I don't know whether you can see it on YouTube, but it does slightly softer look, but interpolated, which is handy. Audio's pretty much the same, input's exactly the same. Games, there's your basically different versions or whatever, and your dip switches the same. You can turn the border off, so we'll turn that off, and you can put the side ones off, but we'll leave all that off for now. You got the assists, which are exactly the same. I found 20 hertz autofire works really well in this game. Depending on what game it is, depending on what autofire rate, you just need to play around with what works for you essentially. Same here, you got your language, rewind, the same buttons. I'll show you all the rewind buttons now on this game. You still got your ranking mode as well, so you can basically look at all the high scores and that on this game. And you can change your version, so you basically 1 player, 2 player, there was 3 different versions this ROM, I believe. I think it was the original 1 player and 2 player. So you can do that. And you've got all the practice modes as well, which is brilliant. So, I'll show you the rewind. So basically, when you're in game, if I just go quickly into game. So one button does rewind. So if you get hit, you can rewind. One button does like a speed mode, like that. So you can speed up the entire game. It'd be fun to play, I guess, for holding down the speed button. And one does slow motion, so you can easily dodge it between bullets. And then one then restarts the game. There's one thing about this game. The original arcade version is pretty much unplayable in my books. You see where he hits things, you get that flash. On the arcade one, every time something dies, the entire screen flashes red. And what the hell they were thinking when they made this game. I know this game was like a project for more like new people who started at Toaplan. So there was quite a lot of people that added levels and did their bits for it. So it was like a mismatch of different people who made it. But yeah, that screen flash makes this game unplayable. But thank God, when I mentioned to them on Twitter they're going to get rid of the red flash, they've got rid of the red flash. So this finally, this is in a form that's playable. The only other version that is playable is the Mister one, because they did the same on the Mister. So thank God this game is actually playable in the arcade now. So we can play the arcade one. So let's start him up. I say this is another classic. It's got a really good Mega Drive version as well. I will say that the Mega Drive soundtrack is better than the arcade one, but the arcade soundtrack there's no slouch either. So the idea of this one is you can pick up an enemy for a shield. You got 3 different weapons: a homing weapon, a laser, and your normal sort of red firing I've got now. And you can get speed ups. There's the laser. It's quite a basic shmup, this is, but it's fun. The homing weapon is probably the best weapon in the game. It's not the most powerfulest, but it's the weapon that's going to do the best usage, basically. Say the arcade version of this does have a nicer graphics than the Mega Drive one, but the Mega Drive one's got that crazy intro with the "All Your Base Belong to Us," which became a bit of a meme when it came out with the bad translation. As you can see, this is very nicely done as well. When I'm tapping, its input is moving exactly when I'm tapping, and when I press the fire, it's firing as well. So I think the input delay on these is very low. It's very good, and they got a lot of options. So you can pick up another shield. You can also use that to fire off at an enemy. If I remember rightly, I think this game's got 6 or 7 levels. I think Outzone's got 7 as well, but this game can get quite tricky as well. So you can get 3 power-ups as well for each weapon, so this is the second power-up version. I do like the music in this game. The music's really good. Especially the music on the second level, especially the Mega Drive version. The second level music on the Mega Drive is fantastic. That is a smart bomb that jumps on your front like you would pick up a ship. So I can fire this smart bomb off. I say the arcade version has got a lot nicer looking backgrounds, and some of the backgrounds are animated as well. But the Mega Drive is a lot static and there's not so much going on. But you know, at the end of the day, the Mega Drive one wasn't going to be able to keep up with the coin-up, because the hardware in the coin-up was essentially better than the Mega Drive. But also a very good version to check out. Starting to get expensive these days, mind. So what you can do is you can use your pods to block that fireball, which will normally just fly straight into you. The bomb on the front as well will take a couple of hits before it blows up. So this is a game I did play in the arcade. Well, I don't like the arcade version essentially, but I did play in the Mega Drive a lot when it came out. So I'm at full power now. Say there's quite a few of the Toaplan games that got really nice conversions to consoles. Like this is on the PC Engine CD as well, with a Red Book audio soundtrack, which it's good, but I don't like it as much. Same with like Hellfire and the Mega Drive version, PC Engine versions. Tatsujin also got released. V5 got released, and I'm not sure if V5 was that Toaplan, it might have been. But I'm assuming with the Tatsujin company and Bitwave, they are planning to do more releases, seeing as this one is essentially Volume 1. So we'll see if we can get the second level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bomb this boss straight away, as soon as he comes on. A bomb takes quite a bit of energy off him. I like the really nice big sprites and artwork. That's the cool thing about the Toaplan games. They always had really fantastic artwork. A lot of detail that went into their games. I think that's why they stood out in the arcades. They also stood out because they were balls hard as well, basically. So this is my favourite track in the entire game, but the Mega Drive version is the one to listen to. So yep, they've done a nice job of this. I say I'll play it today, I'll kill myself now and you'll see my hits go up, so I'm dead basically. Some of the restart points in this as well can be really tricky. But you know, that's arcade games too. So you go to fire, normal fire. Click that in, fire off. So anyway guys, that's Zero Wing. Another classic with lots of really nice options as well. So let's swap over to let's go over to Tatsujin next. Right then, so now we got Truxton, or Tatsujin that I always known as, which is the Japanese name for this game. So very nice, classic. It's well known this game is. It done really well on the Mega Drive. So let's click this button. So you got the same options essentially as the other versions. They're all exactly the same. I don't think there's anything extra in this. So we'll go to the steps mode. Same with the audio, same with the input, exactly the same. Game is the same. You can change whatever version you want. There are slight differences between the Japanese and the European version, and as you'll play, you'll find out. Same with the borders. I'll turn the border off. Same with the overlays. The overlays are pretty much the same type. It's quite a nice poster that. I got the poster there on my wall, which is very nice. So we'll go back to stats because that's the one I would like. Same with the assists. You got the auto fires, hitboxes, same stuff again. Same with the replays and everything. The ranking mode is the same as well. You can get ranking for different versions. I'm still at the top, basically. And same with the practice modes, brilliant. I really like the idea they've got really good practice modes on these because these games are tricky. The practice mode's very good. So pretty much the same options. Same with the buttons, you know, slow down and everything. They did a part 2 to this game as well. And that's really Tatsujin No. That's also a very nice. I say also plays super tight. The PC Engine version of this is all hard like the arcade one, and the PC Engine one has got a fantastic soundtrack. Even better than the Mega Drive one. But it's way harder. The Mega Drive one starts you off an easier standard, but the PC Engine one is just arcade difficulty straight away. I say I've given these games, all these games, I've played them for quite a bit. I've played the arcades a lot as well, so I know what the arcade ones are like. And they recently got released on Mister as well, which is quite nice. Ding, 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 ding. This game's got very hard bosses and stuff. Lovely pixel artwork. and looks so nice on this version as well. Very good. I say this game is Sniper City. I went to arcade club once, and they had this there, and they had Dodo and Apache Daiju at the side, and I was playing that, and some guy was looking at me, he's going, "Oh my god, this game looks crazy." With Dodo and Apache, like I was like, "Yeah, it does look nuts," but this was at the side. I said, "But it's that one at the side. I would say is even harder." These old school shmups, you know, bullet hells look crazy, but they're all set up. They've got all features that allow you to get through small gaps in bullets and things like that. But the old school shmups don't have that. So I could rewind this. See how far I can rewind. There's only so far you can go back. So basically, just rewind this, go all the way back, and then if I go back again. And if I did slow motion, I could play this section in slow motion to know exactly where it should be. It just wasn't where I first started. It's quite nice to have those features on, you know, set up on your buttons ready to go. I can see a lot of people using those features to play through these games and to practice them. Also, the bomb in this game is a classic. You got the big skull bomb. You only see it for a second. Like if I do the slow motion and do it. See the big skull? I've seen cool t-shirts printed with this skull bomb of this. And I do like the way that even though I'm on autofire, if you normally have put like autofire on main, you get to this weapon, you can't use it because it's not an autofire weapon. You've got to hold on the button and it auto charges these lasers. But they've fixed that, so basically you can just autofire. And it automatically, once you pick up this, it just automatically turns your autofire off. The same with Outzone as well. The burner weapon in Outzone you can't use when you use autofire, but on this you can. On Outzone you can, because they've already changed it, so basically autofire it automatically turns off. I say Tetsugen is a classic. What we'll do is, since we've died with it and played absolutely awful, we'll go into practice. So say I want to do, let's have a look, boss 1, boss 2, boss 5, boss 9. So they've just got them in bosses, not level numbers or something. Let's have a look. Place within the mission. Ah, right, place within the mission, okay. So you start from there. So if I change that to like, I don't know, let's go to 9 for instance, and I'll have the green shot, I'll have the full upgrade on the green shot, I'll have 1 bomb, and single times complete, and basically, so now I should be on a higher mission now for practice. So all these missions go by section, which is a brilliant addition to practice this. As you can see now, the bullets are getting fast, really fast. This weapon is the most powerful weapon in the game, but you got no spread on it. So if I want to change back to the spread, we'll go on the charge. Oh, here we go, I'll show you the boss. Like I say, at first the sound sounds a little bit off compared to playing in MIM, but like I say, without having the original arcade board, I can't ultimately say whether that's the case or not, whether this is more like the original arcade one without any filters or not going through an amp. You can see the bosses are balls hard. So we'll cancel out that. So anyway guys, that's Truxton or Tetsugen. Classic game. So we'll swap over to the last game in this collection now, which is Twin Cobra or Kurokoko Tiger. Right then, we're back for the last game in this collection, Twin Cobra, Kurokoko Tiger. similar options again, basically. We'll go to steps, which is already on. Audios, nothing changed really. Same with the practice modes. It's nice that they've carried all the options across each game. Hopefully now when they do the next collection 2, they'll do the same options on top, and any updates or any extra stuff they've added, they'll add that on as well. So basically, if I go into game, you can change it to basically the Tiger version, which the Tiger version, I would say, I'll show you now basically. So start this up. This is the original Japanese arcade one. This game's got good music as well. Also got Mega Drive and PC Engine conversions back in the day. The PC Engine was a little bit different to the arcade, but it's really good. The Mega Drive version is also very good. So same with the autofire. What I will do, I'll show you now. What I found with this game is autofire is too fast. So basically, if I go to assist, I found 9 or 7 is pretty much the best autofire speed for this game. So this is the original Japanese ROM, and you do move quite slow, like the original, like the original game. Tiger Heli was the original game. That's a very slow moving game as well. This game as well, you get power-ups and speed-ups, and there's 4, I think, different weapons on this game. One that fires in 4 directions, one that's like a spread shot, you've got this shot, and you've got like a laser weapon. I'm not sure if the PC Engine added an extra weapon. I don't know why I'm thinking that now. So this is the Japanese ROM. You can pick up bonuses with the little sort of icons. But this game is hard. This is like Sniper City. The same as the original game is very the same. So there's your different weapon pickups. So if I collect that now, I'll get a spread shot. The spread shot is super handy, but it's not the most powerful weapon. So that's the original Japanese ROM. So if I go back to game, I'll change this back to here we go. I found with this game, it occasionally crashes, like you've just seen. That's hopefully something that'll be fixed for release, but I will mention it. It does occasionally crash, like it did then. That's a perfect opportunity to show you the crash. And it also resets some of the stuff when it crashes. So if I go back to border, turn the frame off, and do video, and then the subject steps. Right, so this one I need to change back to game and put it back on the, hopefully it won't crash this time. Nope, we're good. Yeah, it does. Hopefully that'll be fixed for launch. Like I said, I don't know whether these are the launch games that are going to come out. They obviously they may be figuring out little fixes. I am going to mention to them about this crash as well. So I don't know why it does it, but occasionally, only occasionally, it only takes 2 seconds to go back into it, but it is something to be aware of. I haven't had it crash while playing the game, mind. It's only when swapping in between menus and stuff in the options it's ever happened. And I think that's probably the 3rd time I've seen it. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll change the pixel scale. Let's go full. And then we've got the steps option on there, so we should eliminate any like shimmering or anything. Let's have a look at the assists. Yeah, that's right. Right, okay, so we'll start this up. First thing you'll notice, there'll be a different color helicopter. So you got a red helicopter this time, and I'm pretty damn sure that this version is faster. Yeah, you're faster. You're a little bit faster on this version, so I say this is probably the version to play. The other little bug I found with this one as well, autofire. Like, I got the autofire, I'm holding it down now, so if I kill myself, yeah, and I hold autofire down when I start back up, it won't autofire. It doesn't autofire for about, I don't know, for 5 seconds. Yeah, so slowly I'm holding it down, and then it'll kick back in. It's another little weird bug I found with this. But that's it, basically. That's the only bugs I've ever found in any of them. So when you got autofire on, and you die, you've got to tap fire until it kicks back in. So I should mention that to him as well. But like I say, that's a little thing. It'll probably get ironed out pretty quick as soon as somebody mentions it. But this version seems a little bit nicer to play just because of the extra speed. M2 did the same with this collection they did. They got a collection. There's an M2 release of this as well, and they added like hitbox sizes and stuff, and they added the speeds. You can speed up the original game as well, because the original game's really slow. It was a classic for its time, mind, but and apparently that's supposed to be a lot better. I probably need to pick up those collections at some point, but I haven't got around to it yet. So there's the weapons again. I might try a different weapon this time. We'll go the yellow. So yellow gives you like a 4-way firing, which is handy. But also not super powerful either. But you can power up the front firing a little bit on it. This has also got bombs, but it takes a second or two for the bomb to land on the floor. So you have to sort of predict the bombs a little bit in this game. See if I can get the green one. So green is laser. Powerful, but obviously no shred weapon. Music's great in this game. But this is more like your classic Toaplan games, like the slightly older school ones. Balls hard again, basically. So if I quickly want to rewind that bit, I can rewind back out of it. Nice to have them on the buttons. Great for practicing. So I'm going to bomb that. This boss ain't too bad. You just basically got to go to the sides, which I did and died. You also have a feature of this game is the Japanese one. Oh, there is one more bug actually. Sometimes it won't land like that. I don't know if that's because I didn't have a bonus. It could be actually because I didn't have a bonus. Possibly. I'm not sure if that's a bug or not actually. Yeah, the Japanese version as well, when you die you've got restart points, which makes this game very tricky. The Western version, as you can see, you basically start off where you die. So I'd say that probably the Western version is probably the best version to play. So that is it. That is game over. So, my thoughts of this collection. Yeah, 4 classic games, 4 really good games actually on this collection. They're all brilliant in their own right. I was wondering about the input lag, to be honest, but it's perfectly fine. It's great. The input lag feels super tight on you. It's very nice. They say I like all the extras, all these, you know, the borders, the ranking modes and everything. You can have a look at your online ranking or whatever. Your save states, you know, your practice modes are brilliant. All the video modes are good. It would be nice to have a video mode with scan lines and no effects. Let's have a quick look whether I can do. I wonder if I can do that. So if I go into scanline mode, click the button, and I turn the barrel thing completely off. I can't remember. Oh, was it vignetting? I'll turn that way off. I'll turn the brightness down a tad. I'll turn the shadow off completely, and then the scan lines on 39%, which look pretty nice. So I'll go with I'll go with that. 40. So if I go back, oops, if I go back now, let's have a look how that looks. Yeah, so you've still got, oh my god, you've still got the blue. So that looks, yeah, that looks awful. Maybe I shouldn't have messed with that. Okay, so which right, okay. So that's like the shadow around the screen. So can you set that back to, is there a button to reset it back to standard? Maybe not. Oh, see, that's such a weird bending. That's like a for a CRT tube. Brightness, we'll put that back to as it was. Scan and put the shadows back. I'm not sure what it was on. I'll put it there. So you can get it back, but obviously I broke it now basically. I need to I need to get that back whatever it was on. That's probably better. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit too bright, mind. Um, so anyway, you can play around with each of the options and mess around them for whatever you want to do, like which is nice. So you can do it, but you still can't get high pixel mode and scan lines. That or that with scan lines would have been fantastic. But anyway, yeah, I love all the options these games got. All the screen modes are good. Obviously the sound modes. I say the music does sound a little bit weird at first, but I've sort of got used to it now. But like I said, in MAME has got a lot of filters and stuff on it, so it sounds more booming and stuff in MAME. But like I said, it's not running just this raw sound, but it sounds a little bit more like it does on the Mister. But then the Mister sounds slightly different as well. So like I say, without having the original arcade boards, I can't entirely say. But there's nothing wrong with the sound; it's fine. Say they play really good. There's 4 classic games. Say Outzone being my favourite Toaplan game they ever made. I like all the gadgets, even though they're not M2 quality. But I don't know how much this release is going to be, but it's probably going to be a lot cheaper than the M2 games. So yeah, that's fine. The gadgets are fine. They do the job. They give you some nice information. Um, yeah, the practice modes are brilliant. So you can use all that for practicing. You got your credits. You can obviously arcade games. You can limit your credit and limit your sort of continue through the games if you wanted to. But yeah, really nice collection. Um, I suppose I really like this collection. I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be like, but I definitely rate it. And to be honest, if I was going to play these games on the PC now, I'd play them on this collection over playing them on MAME, just for the nice features that you've got. I know you can do some of this stuff in MAME as well, but it's just literally there all on the button for it. And it looks really nice and it plays really nice. And I did compare I did compare the picture quality on the pixel mode to the picture quality on the pixel mode on MAME, like turning all the fancy filtering and stuff off, which I normally do anyway. And to be honest, I think it looks slightly nicer on you. I don't know whether that's it can be because I'm on because I played on this monitor as well, but I think it looks slightly nicer. So now with these games, I would play this collection over playing it on MAME. So there is that. But I think what it's going to come down to is price. As I don't know the price, I definitely recommend this collection. It's very good, and I'm impressed with what they've done, and I hope they carry this across to the other games they're going to release. But this is a good sign that these guys mean business and they know what they're doing. But it's all going to come down to price. It's like the M2 games with all the extra features and modes and like the Twin Cobra game on M2's got 3 games on it. I think it's free because you get this Tiger Heli and Guardian or something. I think it might be called. It's like a weird scroll along beat 'em up, and that one's like 30 odd quid, 35 quid, say roughly. Plus, if you wanted it imported, it's going to cost you more. So with prices on this, I'm I'm gonna go by the archive releases on PlayStation and Switch, which are very good, but obviously they don't come with the features these got. And their screen modes and their scan line modes are rubbish basically. But apart from that, they're nice versions. So I think I'm gonna go by that. And I think if this collection comes out, say you were buying them separate, say I don't know, 7 quid a game or something, you were gonna buy them separate, somewhere around there. I think is a good price for them. If this collections were like 40 quid each, I wouldn't recommend it basically. But if they're that sort of price each, if you could buy them separate, or you can buy them. I was thinking like 25 quid for the entire collection, but thinking like £7 each, 4 of them's not 25, it's more like 28. So maybe if this collection comes out in PC and it's less than say £29 or something, or £30 on PC, I think this collection is well worth picking up, especially if you really like the Toaplan games. I know that the argument's going to be, oh, but you can play it on MAME, but you can play it on a Raspberry Pi or the Mister. That's all fine and that's great, but you know, if nobody ever bought games, no one would ever make games again. So as much as I like playing games on MAME, I do buy stuff as well, like because you gotta you can't just get everything for free because there'll be nothing for free to have in the future. So you know, I think it's well worth picking up. So hopefully as I don't know the price, hopefully this collection is going to be less than 30 quid for the 4 games, and that would be perfect and definitely well worth picking up. So I do recommend this collection, but we'll have to wait till Tuesday to see the price of it. And I'm interested myself to see what the price is. But yeah, hopefully they are going to be less than 30 quid, and it's definitely going to be well worth buying. And even though I had these codes, I don't know whether these codes work after the game comes out. I don't know because they're review codes. This is like pretty much the first review codes I've had, really. I did have one once for an indie game on a mobile phone, which was a long time ago. But this is the first time I've ever had a review codes, and thanks very much, Bitwave, for giving me the review codes. Very nice of you. This a nice addition to the channel as well. But yeah, so definitely recommend it. So whether these work after, I don't know. But I would buy this collection, to be honest. I was planning on buying it anyway, to be honest. Like I was going to pick it up on PC anyway. So I'm glad it's turned out to be really good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the view and review, sorry. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully it's something you're looking into. And if you like the review, pick it up yourself. But yeah, recommended. Very nicely done, this is. So anyway, guys, cheers for that, and I'll catch you soon.